I'm Michael Stanley from the London Stock Exchange. I'm a listed products associate. Today I'll be giving, there we go. I'll be giving an overview and introduction to ETFs. I'll be looking to cover transparency, pricing and regulatory guidelines from a product overview perspective. I'll also give a market overview from both a European perspective but also from a London perspective, and then I'll give some insight into the further information and resources available on the London Stock Exchange website. So just a few questions before we start. I'll try and aim to answer these within the presentation. So what is an ETF? How can you trade an ETF? And what is the London Stock Exchange order book? And what types of ETFs are available and what are the costs? So, ETFs are pooled investment funds which are bought and sold on a stock exchange and which aim to track as closely as possible the performance of a given underlying product. ETFs combine the advantages of stocks, so the tradability and liquidity, with the key features of a traditional index fund, so low cost, diversification and regulated infrastructure into one product. So you may see that term UCITS on the top left-hand side. A lot of people see this term, but may not know what it actually means. So UCITS is essentially undertakings for collective investment in transferable securities. This is a set of European directives which impose a common framework for regulating collective investment schemes throughout the European Union. The next slide, I'll look at the advantages of ETFs. So all ETFs on the London Stock Exchange are supported by a dedicated on-screen market maker, committed to providing continuous two-way pricing throughout the trading day. Investors can trade in and out of an ETF just like a share. ETFs are eligible to be held in ISAs and SIPPs and are not subject to stamp duty within the UK when bought on exchange. So the liquidity of an ETF depends on a number of factors. The ETF itself will have intrinsic secondary market liquidity. It'll also have liquidity based on its underlying assets or securities within the index, and other factors such as the level of competition within the market making space for that particular security. As a leading exchange for ETFs, London Stock Exchange maintains a strong commitment to promoting liquidity and transparency across its markets. So how can I actually trade an ETF? ETFs can be traded very easily via stockbroker or many of the wrap platforms that are around. Unlike mutual funds, ETFs can be traded at any time during the trading day, at any size and at a known transparent price. It's worth noting at this stage that a lot of ETFs actually have multi-currency trading lines, so you can usually, on the LSE for example, you can trade in sterling, euros, dollar. We also offer Hong Kong dollar and Chinese yuan. ETFs listed on the London Stock Exchange operate on a T+2 settlement basis and utilise the CREST, which is a local settlement venue. Trades executed on the electronic order book of the London Stock Exchange have the added benefit of being backed by the clearinghouse central counterparty system. So I just mentioned the order book there. So what actually is the order book? So the order book is simplicity itself. It's a two-column listing of those wanting to buy at a specific price and no higher. And in the other column, a list of those that want to sell at a specific price and no higher. The columns are both arranged on a price time priority basis, and the highest price someone will pay for a stock will be at the top of the buy column, and the lowest price someone wants to sell will be at the top of the sell column. So I've highlighted here in blue just an example of a market maker providing liquidity. So just to give a bit more insight into the role, what do the actual market makers do and what's their role in this? Market makers play an important role in ensuring the markets remain liquid and transparent. Market makers help an ETF, market makers in an ETF help increase competition, thereby providing tighter spreads on screen, which helps increase overall liquidity. Every listed ETF on the London Stock Exchange must be supported by at least one market maker who is required to maintain continuous two-way quotes in a minimum size at a maximum spread for at least 90% of the trading day. So there's a key point here. All ETFs on the London Stock Exchange are on our main market. This is an EU regulated market, ensuring the highest levels of transparency and regulatory oversight. So here's just a slide just to show the diversity of ETFs and all the different types of ETFs, underlyings that are possible to gain exposure to. So we've got all of the major indices available, bonds, fixed income products, commodities, other types of products, including multi-asset funds and also short and leverage type ETFs. So what are the costs? ETFs, the fee chargeable for an ETF is a total expense ratio, which is usually calculated in basis points, in percentage terms. This is an all-in fee, ensuring that there are no hidden charges, providing full transparency of the cost of an ETF. Just to recap then, ETFs are highly efficient and transparent. They offer asset allocation precision and intraday trading flexibility. Again, there's no stamp duty on ETFs. They can be held in SIPs and ISAs. And again, you have the flexibility of trading in multi-currencies. Now, I'll just give some insight into the investment risks involved in investing in ETFs. ETFs are not capital protected or guaranteed, and investors should be prepared and able to sustain losses up to the total capital invested. Investment in ETF involves potential risks, including, among others, general market risks relating to the relevant index, credit risks, exchange rate risks, interest rate risks, inflationary risks, liquidity risks, legal and regulatory risks. The value of an investment may go down as well as up, and past performance is not a guide to the future. Please consult your financial advisor before investing in ETFs. In this section, I'll give an overview from both the London perspective, but also from the European perspective. So on this slide here, I just wanted to show the growth of ETF assets within Europe. So assets in Europe have actually more than doubled since 2011. They now stand at 443 billion euros. This is up 212%. So far this year, assets in ETFs have already risen 22%. So this graph here looks at the turnover of ETFs on the London Stock Exchange. This year, for the first half of the year, we saw 131.6 billion in turnover, over 1.7 million trades, and that's up by 69% compared to the same period last year. As you can see, we've still got a lot of new products coming to market. This year we've had 101 ETFs already and 25 ETPs. We're hoping to see many more later this year as well. So here we just have a few key points on the growth of ETFs, but I'd just like to highlight one particular point around Europe. So it's very difficult to distinguish the flows between retail and institutional on our market, but it's estimated about 10 to 15% of all trades on the LSE are retail based. If we compare this to the US market, it's something like 50%. So 50% of all trades in the US are retail related. As you can imagine, we expect Europe and also Asia to follow this model. And here are all our ETF issuers that are on the LSE at the moment. We've got 24, over 825 ETFs. And again, I'll just point out 428 options to trade in a different currency. So again, euros, dollars, sterling. Just have a quick look at our further information resources. So on our website, londonstockexchange.com/resources, we have two very good guides that are really helpful when trying to find out a little bit more about the ETFs. So I've got one that focuses purely just on ETFs, and then another which focuses on exchange traded products. So exchange traded commodities, exchange traded notes, those types of products. We also offer a free delayed pricing service on our website. So londonstockexchange.com/prices. just enter the ticker code that Mark alluded to earlier, and the price for that particular product will come up. We also recently did a number of ETF educational videos. We actually invited a number of experts from across the industry to talk about a number of different topics. As you can see, there is an introduction to ETFs, the role of the exchange in the ETF, and then the different types of ETFs available. There's also a couple ones on liquidity, which is very good. And that's londonstockexchange.com/resources again. And then there's our disclaimer. I won't read it out. I'll let you have a look at it. Thanks very much.